Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Flutie Foundation's YouTube page. My name is Liz Monroe. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at the Flutie Foundation, and I'm so excited to be here for episode number 2 of Stories from the Spectrum on the Flutie Foundation's YouTube channel. So if you're just joining now for the first time, click subscribe to follow us on YouTube for more exciting content. We have a huge announcement coming later this week that we'll make here right on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe so that you're on top of all of the news that we post. We're so excited that you're here today. I will be your host and moderator. So I'll be managing the comments, but it's really not about me. It's going to be really all about our 2 amazing guests who are joining tonight's show. So we have Zach Smith from New York and Andrew Roberts from Massachusetts. Oh my God, he goes to Algonquin High School. I'm totally blanking on his town name, but they will come on the show and introduce themselves. And tonight you will hear them really share their stories. This is the first time that they're meeting together. So we're going to have this great conversation together for the first time. So if you have any questions at all throughout this interview, please put them in the comments and we'll get to know Andrew and Zach together. So I'm going to invite them to the stream now. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Zach.
Hello.
How are you guys tonight?
Good. How are you, Liz?
Good. Andrew, can you hear me?
I'm good. How about you?
Great.
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
Perfect. So slight delay, but we're figuring it out. I'm going to have both of you introduce yourselves. So Zach, if you want to just give a little bit of background about who you are.
Of course. Yeah. I'm Zach Smith. I'm 24 years old. I currently live in New York City, working at the NFL as a statistics specialist, supporting the NFL stat crews on game days and during the week with auditing and reports. And it's been an awesome ride, and I've enjoying my time at the NFL. It's been a great experience.
Amazing. That sounds so cool. And right up Andrew's alley. So Andrew, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. All right. So I'm Andrew Roberts. I'm 18 years old. As Liz said, I'm from Northborough, Mass. Go to Algonquin Regional High School, and so I've been writing a sports blog for 7 years called Boston Sports Mania. I'm actually wearing the hoodie with my logo on it. I had done an apparel campaign for the Flutie Foundation with this new logo that I designed back in March. And currently, I'm also running a fundraiser for the Flutie Foundation. It's a fantasy football league. This is the second straight year of it. The winner is going to receive this Trophy Smack belt right here. And yeah, so I've been looking for ways to give back to the foundation over the last 3 years as a Flutie Fellow. Also reported on some events for the foundation. It's been a great experience.
Amazing. Love the logo. So Zach, I don't know if you can see it up close. I'm going to try to zoom in. Andrew, can you hold up your logo again? So Andrew designed that with do you see all the Boston sports logos?
That's so cool.
Yeah. Love it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And he actually designed it with one of our partners. So Spectrum Designs is a company that creates promotional materials and apparel. And they employ people with autism. And they helped Andrew create his website to do his fundraiser. They helped do the printing of all of his sweatshirts, t-shirts, and long sleeves. And it was a fantastic success.
That's great.
Yes. And they're in New York. So they're in Port Washington. And we actually visited them before we went to the New York City Marathon to support Dougie's team this weekend.
That's great.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, so we're just going to dive into the first topic. So we're going to throw it back to high school. So right now, Andrew's a senior in high school. Zach did go to high school. So we're going to start with Zach. So thinking back, can you just tell me or highlight some of the big wins that you had in high school, some big memories that you had, or some big challenges that you had to overcome?
Of course. I went to Andrew's rival for high school, which is Westboro, next town over from Northborough. And it was an incredible experience. And I got one of the big things that helped me in high school the 2 big things were involvement and self-advocacy. and my involvement was with the sports teams that I managed, doing statistics and as well as helping out practices, getting water, videotaping, a little bit of everything. And I spent my time with the football, hockey, and lacrosse teams, and that helped me create great relationships with the coaches, players, and classmates that went to games. And it was an incredible experience being part of the team, and that made me feel great about what I did with each team and helping them be successful in their games. And I also was involved with Best Buddies in high school, and going into my time at Westboro, I was my mom and I did some research about Best Buddies, and we knew going in that they were a very successful organization, and and knowing that the high school had a chapter, it was perfect. And right away, I joined Best Buddies and had a match party, where each students got buddied up with each other, and I was teamed up with a junior at the time when I was a freshman. And throughout the years, we did a lot of fun events and did apple picking, movie nights, and we went to Celtics games, and it was a lot of fun. I was also the buddy director my sophomore, junior, senior years, where I helped out at events and spoke at meetings about upcoming events and being part of the process of making sure that everybody was matched up. And one of my special moments with Best Buddies in high school was the annual charity football game that's held at Harvard every year. I first went to the game in 8th grade and then freshman year just as a fan. Sophomore year, I went to I got one step closer being the water boy at the game. And then junior year was my dream come true, playing in the game with Tom Brady himself. And I was so excited going in, practicing with the other players that I was going to be with. And once I took the field in the fourth quarter, so that's when I was scheduled to play, I shook Brady's hand, and feels so cool playing with the GOAT and knowing that that we were all probably going to get touchdowns from him. But nearing the end of the game, I hadn't caught a pass from him yet, and I was getting nervous that it wouldn't happen. But right as the game was nearing the end, we had a short pass play from the 5-yard line. I went to the end zone, turned around. Brady and I saw each other, threw me the ball, caught up against my chest, and touchdown pass from Brady. Did a good old Rob Gronkowski spike, and I was so excited about it. And I was high-fiving everyone, all my teammates and celebrities at the game, and it was so cool being part of that game and playing for Best Buddies. And it was an incredible experience with that game, and it was outstanding. And my and the other high school event or thing in high school that brought me success was self-advocacy, which my liaison helped me with my freshman year, and it's something I became more comfortable with as I graduated, is asking teachers for help with extra help for tests or assignments about anything, and that helped me become successful and less shy when I would go to ask them questions for before school email, and it helped me be successful and get good grades and all my work, and it helped prepare me for college where I could take that practice, and it's something I still do today in the workforce. And those elements helped make my high school experience be very successful, and I have a lot of fond memories about them.
Amazing. Zach, great. That Tom Brady memory. My jaw dropped. Andrew, it feels like you should have known each other in a past life. I feel as though you have kind of similar high school experiences, just being so involved and passionate about self-advocacy. So Andrew, do you want to talk to us a little bit about your high school experience? You're still in it now, but any like fond memories that you have?
Yeah, so I think yeah, throughout high school I think I've grown a lot as a person. I think in a lot of different areas. When I started out freshman year, I was trying to get myself organized, and I was working on a lot of things then that now I'm not as concerned with because I've overcome a lot of challenges over the years. I think socially I've really grown. I've been able to organize myself better. My mindset has improved over the years, and I think like just being able to I haven't had a full 4 years of it because of the pandemic, but just being able to really connect with some people at the school is something that I didn't have as much in middle school, didn't have as much in elementary school, and I'm gonna miss that about high school, but I know that college is just gonna be more of that. So I'm looking forward to college, but my high school experience, I think it's a time in my life where I was growing a lot and I'm not gonna forget it. I think like Zach, as Liz said, I've been able to be involved a lot too. I've written for the school newspaper and broadcasted some football games. So I've done a lot of stuff in my area of interest. In addition to, I've had some involvement with DECA, which is basically a business competition club, and I've kind of found a little bit of a new passion with sports and entertainment marketing. I took the class, and now I've been competing in sports and entertainment marketing over the last 2 years. Going to do it again this year, so that's been something else that I've kind of found my way into during high school.
Amazing. And Zach, so both, sorry, I'll let Andrew plug back into audio. I just want to let both of you know, like, if you hear something that resonates with you and you want to like react, feel free. This is a casual conversation. It's just the three of us. But I'll jump into the next topic. So going to college, Andrew, you said you're getting ready to head to college, which is really exciting. Zach went to Worcester State.
Yes, I did.
So, Zach, do you want to tell us a little bit about your college experience and what it was like going to college, having autism, and anything that like Andrew should know? Like, you've done this already.
Absolutely. My college experience at Worcester State was incredible. It's a small campus, but I made big relationships with everyone I met, especially my professors and classmates. And the first thing I did when I was after I got accepted and getting my schedule lined up is register with the Student Accessibility Services Office, which helps provide services and accommodations to students with intellectual and physical disabilities. And they helped me be the best student I could be with all my accommodations and everything that they set up. And I met with the office director once a week, and I would go over my schedule with her and assignments. We would come up with a plan of action to take for the coming week, and that helped me be successful and prioritize my work and that sort of thing. And I was very big about perfectionism in college, and because I wanted to graduate with honors, and it would make me very stressed out and be anxious about trying to get every detail possible in my work. And she would tell me that I shouldn't have to put that much pressure on me, and I should keep it simple and not overdo it, and I'll still get the best result possible. And that's the mentality I took when near the end of my time at campus there before I graduated. And along with those things, involvement's still very key in college as high school. And it's a very good way to make friends, and and to boost your social life and all those things. And I was involved with football team, basketball team. Did stats for football and was the water boy for basketball. And I also wrote for my school newspaper. And another thing about college is the freedom you get. It's not like high school where you that your teachers may that your teachers won't be behind your back all the time, and that the professors will expect you to follow the syllabus and follow the assignments and do everything like that. And the office hours are huge too. They helped me with getting my work as best as it could be, with asking questions for assignments and for tests too, and all those elements contributed to the success I had going to Worcester State and being a Lancer.
Amazing. And Andrew's a little earlier in the process, I believe. So Andrew, tell us about how your application process is going. Any questions that you have for Zach about his college experience at all, or any like questions in general?
Yeah, but before I get into it, I think I did want to mention, I think it's been great how Zach's been able to get involved in college, and also I think that whole thing about being a perfectionist, that's something that I've dealt with in high school. My freshman year, I was really hyper focused in on getting all A's, and I didn't really pay much attention to the other aspects of my high school experience. And now I've become more comfortable taking risks and more comfortable with the concept of failing and getting back up after. So I think that's something that's helped me over the last 4 years. And headed into college, I've applied to a good number of schools already. Did a lot of my early action applications, and I'm doing some regular decision applications coming up. Doing a big mix of schools. I have some that are further away, some that are closer, some that are bigger, some smaller. And I think once I know where I get in and have all my options, that's when I'm really going to make those decisions about where I want to spend the next 4 years, what kind of environment I want to be in. And my question for Zach really is, being at being at a small local, what would you say been like the upsides and downsides?
So I think he said, sorry, Andrew, you lagged a little. I think he said, what are the upsides and downsides of being at a small local college in Massachusetts?
Okay. Let's see. The upsides are everybody knows everybody, and you get to form great relationships with everyone, professors and students. And another upside would be smaller class sizes. It's not like a big university where you're in a big auditorium with 300 other students. You're in a regular classroom with 10, 15, 20 students, similar to high school with what you're having right now. And it's a great way to make relationships with classmates and talking about assignments and everything, and get to know the professor more, understand their values and expectations. And the downside with especially a school like Worcester, it's not like the athletics are still big, but it's not like you don't get featured on College Game Day or anything like that. It's not a big deal, but that's one of the things that's different from D1 school like Boston College or UConn or schools like that. And quite frankly, other than that, there aren't a whole other downsides. It's a great camp. It's a great experience, and it is an awesome campus there. The only downside to Worcester, the only other downside didn't really apply to me, is the parking is not the best. But if you do go to Worcester, just make sure to get to campus early, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. Worcester State isn't one that I applied to, but I did apply to some similar, smaller local schools. So just getting kind of an idea of that. And I do like the idea of that whole college game day experience, but then again, there are so many benefits of being close by with all the connections I have here, and also benefits of being in a smaller campus where you know everyone and can make good connections. So that's something I'll have to think about.
Amazing. So we'll jump into the next topic, but before we do, if you're just tuning in now, welcome to the Flutie Foundation's Stories from the Spectrum, Episode 2, featuring aspiring sports broadcaster Andrew Roberts and Zach Smith, who is a statistician for the NFL, which we are going to jump right into here right now. So let's see. Let's start with Zach first, actually. So if you could just talk to us about how you landed this amazing dream job. Tell us where you're working. And then tell us about your experience of just the general perception of neurodiversity in the workforce.
Absolutely. I've been working at the NFL in New York now since the middle of July, so I'm coming up on 4 months. It's really flown by. And after I graduated from Worcester State about a year and a half ago, I was very eager to join the workforce. And while I was at Worcester, I developed a strong passion for writing and editing and journalism. And that was one of the big jobs I was hoping to get right after college. But a lot of the jobs were not entry level and required some experience, and took me over 3 dozen jobs I applied for that were journalism related with no luck, and I either got rejected or didn't hear back from any employers. But my saving grace was I connected with the Best Buddies job program in New York to see how they could help me with putting my best foot forward with my work, and I decided to. And they helped me decide to change my focus from editing and journalism to my main passion, which is sports statistics. And they found a job lead at the NFL that they emailed to me not long after I joined with them for a statistics support specialist. And I figured it's right up my alley. I'll apply for it, but if it doesn't work out, it's okay, because it's the NFL. It's a big organization. I applied for it. The very next day, I got accepted for the next part of the job application process, which is the hire view questionnaire, where you answer a couple questions over video that gets sent to the employer. And they sent me 8 questions. There were 8 questions I had to answer. Some of them were the typical, why should the NFL hire you, or what skills you bring to the table, and a couple football questions like what's a safety, what rule would you change in the NFL. And it was very stressful because I had only one chance to answer each question, so I had to nail everything down perfectly, and I got by with that with no issues. And the very next week, I got accepted for the next part of the interview process, which is a face-to-face hire view interview where I met my future manager, and he and his manager asked me some questions and told me about the job experiences, and that went very well. And then 6.5 weeks went by until I got the magic phone call from my manager saying I got the job, and I was so ecstatic. And the second after I told my parents, and we jumped up and down. We went apartment searching in New York, and as they say, a couple of weeks after that, the rest is history. And I've been enjoying my time here in New York in the NFL.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Congratulations, Zach. I feel like your whole life, everything that you talked about from high school through college, has led you to this moment. So we're happy for you. How's living in New York?
It's great. It's taught me a lot of responsibility since I'm now living on my own. It's not like living back with my parents that I didn't have to worry about doing cooking or doing laundry or doing as many chores around the house. But now, with living here in the city, I have to do my own laundry and do my own cooking and go grocery shopping and everything. And my parents are very helpful to help me get ready for that before the move, and showed me some things back when I lived in Connecticut before coming here, and that really helped make the transition very well. And also paying bills, and as you know, living in New York is not cheap; it is pricey, and I've had to pay bills and rent, and my parents have been helping me with that in every way they can, and it's taught me a lot of responsibility and all that stuff. And then my downtime, I love to go to Central Park to do runs and explore other parts of the city that I'm not too familiar with, and I'm now becoming more familiar. And it's been incredible getting to be a part of the city and call myself a New Yorker.
Amazing. Love it. So, Andrew, you obviously haven't gone to college yet, but you are still thinking about your career. You're almost preparing for it now. You're an aspiring sports broadcaster. You have a sports blog. You basically MC all of the Flutie Foundation's events. So, tell us a little bit about your dream job and how you've worked to prepare for your dream job. And if you have any questions at all for Zach, now is definitely the time.
Yeah, so before I get into the stuff about me getting into this industry or working towards this industry, I do want to mention, I think it's awesome that Zach has a job already with the NFL in statistics. I think that's a great opportunity, and he's really able to live his dream with that. And I think like you mentioned, I've visited New York a few times. You mentioned like exploring around the city. I'd imagine it's really fun. As much as I like my Boston teams, New York is a great city to live in. And I think it's a great experience as a whole, just being there and working for the NFL. And I mean, statistics is something I've had some interest in too. So if I got an offer in statistics, even if I was looking for jobs in journalism, I'd probably be interested, especially an organization like NFL. That would be amazing. But I got started when I was about 10 years old. I got a book from the library, and I had to start a blog. I was already really into sports at that point, and started a blog about sports. And it started out as just a hobby, but now I have over 750 posts, and I've just continued to build on what I do on there. It's become a big part of me pursuing this dream career. And I think what's taken it to the next level really is my partnership with the Flutie Foundation. I became a Flutie Fellow in 2018. When I started, my first assignment as a Flutie Fellow was actually to fly out to Seattle, and I covered Tyler Lagasse and Scott Rohrer, two golfers that the Flutie Foundation was sponsoring, highlighting out in Seattle at the Special Olympics USA Games. And that was a really great experience. Since then, I've reported on Flutie Foundation events. They've helped me gain connections with the Worcester Red Sox. I did some coverage for the Woo Sox on my website this summer. I had some interviews through the PR staff there. It was great to kind of get involved not only with the Woo Sox games, but also I highlighted some things they did to help make the ballpark a more inclusive community. They're playing in a brand new ballpark. For those who don't know, they're playing at Polar Park, and there they've been able to. They have a sensory-friendly room for people who need a breather from the loud crowds. They have partnerships with the New England Center for Children and Advocates, both great organizations, and the Mark Fitteridge Foundation also. So I've highlighted some of that, and they're working with the Flutie Foundation on a partnership in the coming years as well. So that's been a great experience, and yeah, I've really enjoyed my time as a Flutie Fellow, doing all the reporting stuff. And now since then, I've looked for ways, since they've helped me so much in my career pursuits, I've looked for ways to give back, and that's what inspired the apparel fundraiser and inspired the fantasy football league. And yeah, the third fundraiser I did was known as Gonk Knox Football Night. So basically, I had produced a documentary for my high school's football team, and it was a preseason documentary. I called it Gonk Knox, and I had an event basically themed around that documentary. We invited the whole football team, invited some people involved with the Flutie Foundation, and raised money for both the team and the foundation. That I think was my most successful fundraiser
It was
to
epic.
date. That raised a total of 10,600, and since then haven't been able to have another in-person fundraiser like that one, but I've still had success between the Fantasy Football League and the apparel campaign, and we're just starting up fundraising for the second year of the Fantasy League now, so it's going great.
Amazing. So now I'm basically just going to let Zach, if you have any questions or comments for Andrew, or feel free if you guys want to talk sports. go to town.
I'm very excited for you, Andrew, and you've done an amazing job with getting yourself exposed with your sports blog, and that's going to help. That's going to help you a lot with getting jobs in your field, because you're tailoring it to what you want to do, and it's going to help in a big way. And I'm very excited for you as you continue the job, or actually the college application process. And I hope you have hope the rest of your time at Algonquin goes well. And I'm very excited for you as you enter the next chapter of your life in college. And one question I had for you is: is there one dream school that you have? Because I know you mentioned there are a bunch that you were looking at, and I'm curious to know: do you have one that you're hoping to get into because of anything, because of sports teams or or anything it could be?
Now, I don't exactly have like my mind set on this one, but I'd say my top choice right now is Syracuse. And this is for many reasons. I think they have a great journalism program. They have great sports teams. Everyone's kind of a fan of their teams. I've always thought they have like a really involved basketball fan base, especially, and I've seen some of their games. It's nice watching that team. They're always competitive. They're always most of the time making March Madness, and they've made some good runs there. So it's about the sports teams. They have a great sports journalism program. My cousin is actually there right now going to the Newhouse School of Communication as a journalism major. So
cool.
as a broadcast journalism major. So he's already been able to do that out there. And I think it's just it's a great school for someone with a passion like mine because of all these things that kind of combine to make it a good fit. And in addition to the journalism program, they actually have this school called the Falk School, where they have sports analytics, sports management too. So I'd hope to explore that as well.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Lots of snow there, Andrew. Andrew, do you have any last questions?
I'm used to the snow. There's plenty of snow here. So.
True. Very true. Oh, we got a question in the comments too for Zach. Zach, are you a runner?
I am big time. I love to run, and with the pandemic, I've done a lot more running, and I've been keeping track of my runs through Runkeeper, and it's helped me with my progress and making sure that I'm having a right pace and everything. And my ultimate goal is to hopefully run a marathon someday, and the New York City Marathon is on that list. I'm hoping to build more endurance as I run and try to get more long runs, and hopefully do a couple more 5Ks, 10Ks, and maybe even a half marathon or two as I build toward running a marathon someday.
Amazing. So this is our executive director, Nick, who's commenting. He wants you to run the Boston Marathon. Oh, another comment. You have a place, Zach. So if you want to run Boston, Nick is telling you have a bib.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Love it. Okay, any last closing comments from either of you? I know there's a delay for Andrew, so.
Yeah, this is more sports related, but one thing I will mention, I'm curious to hear what Zach thinks about this whole OBJ situation. I've heard a lot of rumors that he might come to the Patriots. He's a free agent right now, and yeah, I don't know if he'd be beneficial or not for the Patriots, but I'm excited to see what happens wherever he goes. Wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Patriots could be a good spot for him because Mac Jones has been playing very well, and they've won their last 3 games with good defense, and their offense has been good. And I've also, on a side note, I've actually worked all 3 of those games that they've won, the past 3, and it's probably good luck. Maybe I'm their good luck charm.
Yes.
but at any rate, I think OBJ could be a good candidate for them. And I know there are a couple other teams out there that I know the Lions have been struggling, and the Giants could use a good receiver, and that would be a homecoming because OBJ used to play for the Giants, and the Raiders just picked up Deshaun Jackson, so I don't know if he'll go to Vegas or not for that, but and I'd say any team with a struggling receiver core would be a good spot for OBJ. Whether it's injuries or anything like that, needing to turn a team around.
Andrew, we have a question in the comments.
Yeah, I think the 2 things OBJ wants are he wants to be targeted, wants to be that number 1 receiver, and he also wants to be on a contender. So I think on paper, the Patriots would seem like the perfect fit, but I did notice Nick commenting he wants no part of OBJ, and that brings me to the concerns about him. The Patriots, they've won 3 in a row, and I almost start to question, like, OBJ has kind of held the Cleveland Browns. It seems like they've done better without him. And I don't know if it'd be the same in New England. Maybe Belichick can help him adjust to the system and help him, like, make sure that he's not going to cause any trauma here. But I think, yeah, if you have the Patriots have won 3 in a row right now, and like messing with that momentum might not be a good idea. I just don't know if OBJ would be messing with the momentum or building on it.
Love it. I have no comment. So, anything else? This was amazing. Thank you both so much for taking the time to come on tonight's show.
Yeah,
I feel like you two, if like you ever want to start like a sports podcast, like you have a fan, I will listen, I will subscribe. That was like incredible. It's like I feel like you guys have known each other. So anyways, thank you both for being guests on tonight's episode of Stories from the Spectrum. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. We will be back next Tuesday with a brand new episode. So make sure you hit subscribe now so that you can see all of the latest content from the Flutie Foundation. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it.